name is Ryan Vesley. Thanks for joining today. I look after the teams here at SOS that are really focused on the technical journey of our customer. So really then thinking about SOS and kind of how we look at the overall industry as a whole, what our customers have told us consistently is that really the app is the major source of value that all of our customers provide to their users. It's where people really spend all of their time. Mobile is rapidly becoming the central place for everything that we do. I don't know about you, but I wake up to my mobile phone with my alarm. I check, Slack first thing in the morning, and then very quickly jump over to Facebook and get my morning news from that point of view, and then jump back into work. But throughout the day, it's constantly right in front of me. In fact, it's sitting here right next to me as well, and able to monitor that all the time. On a more personal level, full disclosure, I am a Chase customer, so I am constantly using the app from that point of view to take a look at what's really going on with my finances as well as my kids' finances, because our family has kids of various different ages, and some of them are young adults, and they need to be able to be mindful of finance and be thoughtful. And so we use the app itself to manage and kind of learn from each other and start to get that awareness built in. Because everybody has a phone these days, it's really easy for us to be able to rely on those kinds of devices. What that ultimately means, though, is that anybody who's creating any kind of an app for those devices needs to be absolutely crystal clear positive that the environment, the experience, the services that they're providing through that application are perfect and are exactly as they're meant to be designed. Which really means that it's not just good enough anymore to be thinking about moving to digital. Digital transformation is a thing of the past. That's already happened. What we have to be thoughtful of around now is how do we ensure that we have digital confidence? What do we do to ensure that not only do we as purveyors of software have 100% confidence in the services and software packages that we're releasing, but that we build that confidence inside of our customer base as well? How do we ensure that they have the right kind of confidence that they want to come back and use our services again and again? That's what it's all about, right? Is making sure that we engage with our customers and engage with our users through this app to provide a mechanism to build that bond and loyalty across the board so that they in turn want to keep doing business with us. And the only way that you can really do that is to have a way to know without a doubt that you are providing the absolute best possible experience that is functioning, that is performing, that it looks exactly as it's meant to, as you've designed it, before your customers ever interact with it. Now, that's not to say that things like monitoring or other types of things aren't important. They absolutely are. You need to track that information as well. But you want to arm yourself with a level of confidence that when you push things to production, you know what you're going to see, and you are confident that you are building that trust with your users, that they are going to be confident in the services that you're providing as well. And then, of course, you can learn back from the monitoring side of things. And when you start thinking about shifting right, having that information funnel back into your overall software delivery cycle to make sure that you have that kind of information available to you. Ultimately, then, the reason why we're thinking about all of these types of information is to be thoughtful around the way that we want to ensure that users are thinking and providing information to each other through their experiences and through ultimately just the types of things that they want to do from their accomplishment side of things. And there's a whole bunch of different services out there that provide various different surveys and information that really focus in on what it means to have a good or bad experience. And these are just 3 analysts' reports that we've pulled some data from that talk about that. So the first one then really is probably not that big of a surprise. I mean, think about yourself when you've downloaded an app in the past and have the concept of, you have a bad experience, you launch it, that app crashes. How often do you go back and use it yourself? Me personally, not very often, maybe once or twice tops, and then it's gone. This report is telling us that 25% of users that have just one bad experience are going to abandon the brand, not the app, the brand. And that is hugely damaging. On the flip side, then, if you think about more on a positive side, if customers have a good experience experience, typically what we're seeing is that people tend to spend more time, more money with that particular brand, 140% more, in fact, if they have that good experience, if it's consistently reinforced from that point of view. And then ultimately, not just the brand point of view. I think a lot of organizations these days manage multiple brands. Qualtrics is saying that 41% of customers will either decrease the amount of money they're spending or just flat out stop spending altogether any kind of money with a brand that provides bad experiences. So it really is important to understand that user experience is really the crux. It's your window into your user's world, and it's what you really need to build that confidence in them, that they have the confidence in you to be able to provide that kind of experience. Okay, so what that means then is that's really where SaaS is coming into play. We are focused on creating a world of digital confidence. We want to ensure that you have the tools, the mechanism, the best practices, the various different strategies in place that allow you to build that confidence, not just in your own software delivery cycle, but also to encourage your users to be confident in you as well. That's really where our mission comes into play, and it really is what's focusing all of the efforts that we put into how we provide our services and ultimately our software along with that. How we do that, and what ultimately makes us unique, is that we are absolutely focused on open source. We want to encourage so many different people to be able to provide their knowledge and their expertise to help us create a better place for this type of confidence building environment. We absolutely are dedicated to things like Selenium and Appium. In fact, our co-founders are also the founders of those services as well, to ensure that we have the knowledge and the awareness that's built out in the open source community funneled right back into what we're developing and building here. Right alongside with that is we have actual practitioners, that some of which have been folks that have been much like you for their entire careers, that have decided, you know what, it's not just good enough anymore for us to create the confidence that we have within our own organization. They want to help others do that. And so they've become part of our organization, where they are imparting their skills and they bring their expertise to help all of you meet the needs that you're looking for from that point of view. Throughout all of that, we're gathering tons and tons of data that gives us the insight that we need to both tell you when something is wrong, but more importantly, also coach you so that you have the knowledge that you need to improve the way that you're trying to accomplish the goals that you're looking for. And ultimately, these last 2 points, the customer first culture and user community, I mean, that's really what this session is all about. Is we want to ensure that you have the opportunity to learn from each other, that we are thinking about what's important for you and considering what your goals are, so that you have the right kind of tools and techniques available so that you can meet those goals from that point of view. And we're going to actually have more on the user community in the coming months, where we can actually build that out farther and really engage more with you directly from that point of view. All of that is accomplished by the overall platform that we provide. And it starts really with a variety of different tools and mechanisms that we can put to play to ensure that you have the avenue to create those areas where you can build that confidence that we're talking about. So just in case you're not entirely familiar, we have a variety of those tools around browsers, whether they're headless or built into the desktops themselves. We have mobile emulators and simulators, and we have real devices that are both public as well as private. And all of those tools then have the mechanisms to run those tests and gather information, both about the tests themselves, but then the assets to come with it to help you understand what you're really seeing. So whether it's analyzing the data that's there, or debugging through a live testing session, or even just looking at the recordings of the videos and screenshots, so you can actually pinpoint exactly where the default is, so that you can replicate it and fix it and get it in the hands of the developers as fast as possible. We do that from a point of view of not just functional testing, which was the old world way of looking at it, but really thinking about all the things that go into a user's experience. Not just does it function properly, but does it perform? Is it fast? Is it meeting the speed needs that I have as a user? Is it clear and visually pleasing? Do we have the right kind of design? And is the actual app responding in the way that it was meant to? Do we have the button in the right place? Do we have the right kind of text in place? All those types of things factor into it, and you would actually be surprised how just a tiny little fraction of change between one experience and another can absolutely dramatically impact the user's experience. If it's hard to tap a button, or if you've ever been on an app on your phone where you try to tap something to submit it and it doesn't work, you know what I'm talking about from that point of view. All of that then is encompassed in our security and support, and put together all of these things are our continuous testing cloud that we make available to all of our customers. It is a cloud-based environment that is designed to help build that digital confidence that we're talking about. And really, there are the three key dynamics that are happening that are driving all of our innovation and be focusing on building that digital confidence. Without a doubt, the pandemic is a big piece of that. I know when it first hit, it felt to me like it wasn't going to be a massive thing, but clearly here we are going on 6 to 7 months later from when our shutdown first started, at least in the United States. And we're still dealing with it. We're still trying to figure out how we can have different types of mechanisms, and it makes mobile that much more important, right alongside with other types of digital experiences as well. And then on top of that, you also have the need to consistently create an environment that has speed and an overall optimization of what your experience looks like, continually getting faster, continually reaching that level of velocity that you're looking for. The best way to be able to reduce the number of bottlenecks in your overall software that you're providing to your users is to have that mechanism to be continuously delivering improvements and bug fixes, as well as innovations into your software as fast as you can. And being thoughtful around how that factors into our testing environment is a key factor from that point of view. And then ultimately, I kind of mentioned this a little bit before about shifting right, but we also have shifting left. So testing is no longer just a single spot within your overall SDLC, but it's really broadening. It's getting to the point where we want to have tests available to developers very, very early on, even in the design phase, where maybe you haven't even put code in, you're already being able to factor in those kind of test strategies from that point of view. As well as inside of production. We're seeing more and more customers wanting to test within production, not just for availability, but again, just to make sure that the experience, the clickstream, all the types of things that they think that they are providing to the users is sound, ensuring that it's there. And it's all about building that digital confidence from that point of view. Wrapping the entire environment with that level of knowledge is what's going to give you the aspect where you can ensure that the user experience that you're providing to your folks is the best as much as it possibly can be.